In run number 2, Mark Martin is third in the point standings, and Jeff Gordon got his first Busch Series win right here. 328 laps around this mile-and-a-half oval, quarter-mile straightaways, half-mile turns. Wallace about in front of Earnhardt as they come down for the green flag. Mark Martin drives up into second on the inside at turn 1. Earnhardt right back at him. Takes over second. Back straightaway.
The pack.
Up to the pole sitter to set the pace. He got a good jump. That yellow car is Ernie Irvan moving up on the inside of rookie Jeff Gordon. And Rusty Wallace leads his first lap at Atlanta since the spring of 1990.
I think he must have his road race transmission in that thing, because he really got out of here on that takeoff there. He and Earnhardt just jumped out from everybody.
Side by side, fourth place. And rookie Jeff Gordon trying to edge in front of Ernie Irvan.
That's what's going to be about the good racing at this racetrack. You can run high and low. A lot of tracks we go to, there's a real preferred line. But this track here, you can run high or low and get around here quick.
First lap, 174.5 miles an hour. They're single file back through about 10th spot. Rusty Wallace has opened up about 7 car lengths on Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Ernie Irvan, Jeff Gordon.
Buddy mentioned top of the show how if you have a wreck, it clogs the whole track up. So they've got to be concerned with this kind of traffic.
You see Mark Martin laying on the bottom of the racetrack, and Dale looked like he pushed up in the center part of the corner, and Mark just drove away from him. I mean, Mark in practice yesterday, he and Rusty Wallace were the fastest 2 cars, and it's showing right now that they're still the fastest.
Only about 90 minutes of practice yesterday for the Winston Cup drivers after a week layoff due to snow here last weekend. Wallace with a 1.4-second lead. There's Mark Martin's view of the rest of the field. Irvan and Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon look like Daytona deja vu.
Boy, I tell you what, the 4-car got completely sideways then, and he backed out of it a little bit. He's checking up on it to make sure he don't have tire problems or something, so that car got completely sideways coming off the street.
Morgan Shepherd is with us, and Kenny Schrader has caught that pass. There's Schrader's white car, the Kodiak car, just ahead of Brent Bodine. Schrader started 10th. He's moved up in the number 25 car and now goes underneath Morgan Shepherd. Gordon and Earnhardt. Gordon is not content to ride this time.
He might have rode Daytona. It looks like he's learned a lot. He's in a race and run with Earnhardt for second position. Excuse me, a third position. Cleared him.
Field back to the front straightaway. 6 laps on the board. Wallace, Martin, then Jeff Gordon, Earnhardt, Irvan, and Shepherd. Let's go down to pit road and check with Randy Pemberton.
Well, we talk about Jeff Gordon, and what a story this
Trouble in
is.
turn 1, Randy. Forward them to us, and we'll pass them along to pit road or to my colleagues, Buddy Baker and Neil Bonnet, and try to get your answers. Any questions we can't use on today's show, we'll forward on to Inside Winston Cup Racing and Race Day. You may see them there on TNN. So the lines are open. Wallace, the leader from lap 1. Kyle Petty has come from 27th to 20th. Alan Kulwicki started 29th. He moved up to 23rd. You're looking at Jeff Gordon, who's the 3rd place car behind Mark Martin, ahead of Dale Earnhardt and Ernie Irvan. Let's get out of pit road. Randy Pemberton.
Well, just before the crash of the blown engine, we were speaking of Jeff Gordon. He has really taken the Winston Cup world by storm, but it was last year here that he won a Busch Grand National race, his first ever on this Atlanta track. Now, this year here, he's got 2 top 10 finishes already, 1 top 5, and I'll tell you where he qualified, guys. All the people were talking about him in the garage area. Expect him to be a contender all day long. He's still just 21 years old, and this kid can actually go to victory lane here today.
One of 3 talented rookies in this field, all off the Busch Series that we covered in depth last year. Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Kenny Wallace, Neil arguably, Jeff Gordon quickest out of the box, but talked to Bobby Labonte last night at dinner. They've made some changes. They expect that Ford of theirs to run much better this week and through the season, and Kenny Wallace too coming up to speed. Remember, most of the Busch drivers have not seen this racetrack, not driven here. Jeff Gordon did race here last year, so he may have a leg up on the other 2 rookies at the moment.
Talking about Jeff Gordon and the guys that are running for Rookie of the Year, I don't know of a year that's had 3 guys that could win that thing with the quality of drivers that they have this year. I mean, each one of those guys are going to have parts of the year that they're really going to dominate as far as the Rookie of the Year campaign.
It's been a long time since we had this talented a rookie crop. We're getting ready to go back to green. Pace car is in. Green flag. At lap 10. Like that lap 11, Wallace hangs them down as we begin lap 12, and Earnhardt goes right to him. So with those cool tires, maybe he's trying to make the move now before they heat up. Of that roof cam on Mark Martin's car, it slides across to keep that lens clean. Pass for second, and they're beginning to jumble up here back at second or third spot on back.
Okay, Mike, what you're seeing is Earnhardt got the jump on the restart, but here comes Jeff right back by him again. I think Earnhardt's got a pushing condition in the center of the corner, and he's having a problem.
And watch the 21 car. Morgan Shepherd on the bottom there. 2 of his 3 Winston Cup victories have come here at Atlanta.
He's always run good at this racetrack, and the Wood brothers car is good. That's a good combination for Atlanta. Yeah, I think one other thing we're seeing also, we see Jeff Gordon right there with Earnhardt. All the races we've been to before, he says, I'm going to take it easy. I think we see the guys ready to go racing. I think they're going to kind of turn him loose and let him really get after these guys.
I tell you, though, he's on a bad place on the inside of Earnhardt. Because Earnhardt will pull down tight on you and then go back out and go in the corner and make that car extremely loose.
The other quick car in this field is Ken Schrader. Schrader's just moved past Ernie Irvin. And comes up into the 5th position. Trouble on Earnhardt's car.
Got real loose up in there. Boy, look what a lead they have over third place. The 6th car and the 2 of Rusty Wallace has got a big lead. Jeff Gordon. That's Kenny Schrader right in behind Jeff Gordon. He's starting to try to run a higher line. He's getting it done up there, buddy.
And you'll see a black car coming in right in focus there. That's Earnhardt. He's making a run back up through there. What happens here is you have to start the car real loose to make it really work later on, because the tendency is to get tighter as you go. So it looks like Earnhardt's on the run now, too.
Jeff Gordon, who runs in 3rd. And Schrader closing in. Schrader started 10th.
It looks like both of them are gaining on the 24 car of Jeff Gordon now.
As they battle here for 3rd place, Rusty Wallace is pulling away from Mark Martin. These are still quite a distance on this group.
Yeah, and you see Jeff Gordon going back by the 25 car there. For a while, he was dropping back. Now he's on the run again. I don't know what's going on. These cars run like crazy for 10 or 12 laps and then drop back.
Again, they did not get a lot of practice here in Atlanta. Just about an hour and a half yesterday after a week's layoff, and the cars sat here impounded in the garage area. As they had already qualified, they were not allowed to move from the speedway.
The guys that are going to get a lot of practice will be these pit crews when they come in the pits the first time. They're liable to put the air wrenches on those jack screws and make some chassis adjustments. We saw Schrader pass 24. Now that there's Rick Mast dropping the inside. And now we see the 24 back in front.
Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon are in nose to tail.
And that was your 1st and 2nd place cars after after Rusty pitted. We'll see him making a chassis adjustment on the 6th car. There they go in the right rear. See him cranking around the right rear of Jeff Gordon. All the cars, even though they're leading the race, they're not hesitating to change the chassis a little bit.
Clock running on Mark Martin, stopped 21.7. Gordon's was faster. He came in much later, came out right with him.
Boy, that makes you feel good. A new team being able to get out there with Mark Martin and run along on pit stops like that.
We saw Rusty go by as they were coming out of the pit, so he's going to have a pretty good lead on them.
He has a 2.1 second lead over Jeff Gordon, lapping past Jimmy Means. And Mark Martin has now gone towards 2nd place, moving underneath Jeff Gordon.
We'll see the 6th car. He just passed the 24 the last lap around. These guys have swapped the lead back and forth about 3 times the last 5 laps.
You know what made that impressive is they got caught up in traffic a while ago, and of course Jeff Gordon being younger, he took a lot of chances and got a jump on the 6th car, but Mark just took his time, worked his way through the traffic. Now he just run him down and went right on by. I tell you, Mark Martin's going to be hard to handle in this race.
We've had a lot of questions about the snow out and what the teams can and can't do. When the race was snowed out, the cars were impounded, required to be kept here as they'd already been inspected after they'd been qualified. But then when the teams came back in, the garage area wasn't open until yesterday noon. But the teams could change anything they could change in the course of a normal Winston Cup practice day to get these cars ready to race today. And a lot of them did change engines because they had sat in these cars in the cold during the week and made chassis and other changes in response to what they learned during the practice session. So yesterday was just like any other day before a race here. It was just very short.
with a lot of work in a short amount of time.
Neil Bonnet spent yesterday in Texas qualifying Dale Earnhardt's car for the, what is it, ARCA, Winston West, and everybody else come on and run race tomorrow.
64 about there trying to get in there.
Yeah. And sometimes advertising considerations come into play. Companies that advertise on the telecast are often offered the first opportunity to have the camera placed.
And if they keep winning races with that camera, we'll get more bids for it all the time. Seems like it's a lucky piece to have in the car lately.
Paul from Long Island called in and asked where the lug nuts come from when they change tires. You see him take a tire off, the lug nuts whiz away. Jeff Gordon is third. And an appropriate question called in. The last time a rookie won a Winston Cup race, Davey Allison did it twice. In 1987, he won 2 races that year in his rookie season. That's the last time it happened. A lot of folks think it could happen sometime this year as well. He won Talladega and Dover. And where is he today? 19th place, well back.
I would say Rick Hendricks is probably enjoying this race today. He's got 3 cars in the top 5 right now. I'd say his odds are pretty good right now, too, wouldn't you?
One car will be that good up in Winston Cup. It's so hard to get a car to run up front in this thing. To have 3 of them up there, they're getting their homework done.
Wallace is the leader. There's Mark Martin. There's Jeff Gordon as you check the interval going back. Ricky Rudd is now 4th and Kenny Schrader 5th. So it's 3, 4, 5 for the Hendricks stable.
You can mark his down in your memory bank.
Yep.
Jeff Gordon will win many, 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 many races.
I don't doubt that a bit.
I mean, that's not like being a soothsayer or anything.
Pick up the 3rd place car. There's Jeff Gordon in the DuPont Chevrolet, the Rick Hendrick car. And his teammate is the next car back. That'll be Ricky Rudd in 4th place. Long way back to 2nd place, and Jeff Gordon closing up on the 2nd place car, Rusty Wallace. You're riding with.
Boy, there's Gordon. He's coming up trying to get around the outside of Allison. I'm not so sure that Gordon might not be a little bit quicker than 2 car once he gets around Davey here.
There's one thing for sure. He's using up twice as much racetrack. I can tell you one thing. He's just doing a Harry Gant. Everybody else. I start saying Neil Bonnet, but he ain't got that far along yet.
No. It's Mark Martin leading Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon.
Let's get a little bit of air on. I'm beginning to stink a little.
Ask Denise what she's looking at. Will we see the blimp or just the shot, Patty? Thank you.
Goes second place.
The delirious channel here.
We got to have something going.
Yep.
One thing about Mark Martin, when he's on the edge, he kills.
These shots of Atlanta Motor Speedway. Nice crowd on hand here. As this battle goes on for 2nd place, 4 seconds behind leader Mark Martin. Closed it right up on pole sitter Rusty Wallace.
We have a battle here. One guy uses the low side of the racetrack, and Jeff Gordon's running extremely high. And right now, it seems the higher side of the racetrack is a little bit faster.
What they'll do, they get into this. 24, he'll try to drive up on the outside of him. What he's got to do is got to get enough up beside him that Rusty has to give him that outside lane off this corner. Looks like this time he might have done it. See, he's actually made Rusty move over a car lane. He took some momentum away. Here he goes by right on the outside.
The car looked like it's handling pretty good down the straightaway, too, Jim.
Yeah, Hendrick's cars will do that.
Most of them do. So second place changes hands. And the rookie driver, Jeff Gordon, 21 years old, but don't let that statistic fool you. He's been driving and winning races since age 5. First climbed into one of those 1,000-horsepower sprint cars at age 14. Last year, set a record for poles on the Busch Grand National circuit, and now moves into Winston Cup. There's Rusty Wallace in third, right with him.
And when they say he's won races, it wasn't just something that was small race here, small race there. He jumped on the big boys from the day he started racing, and it's really paid off. He's had quite an education. He's using it right now.
Front three in this race: Ford for Mark Martin, Chevy for Jeff Gordon, and Pontiac for Rusty Wallace. Those are the three makes of cars officially involved in Winston Cup racing.
I wouldn't doubt this 24 bunch beat Mark Martin out of
I'm going to bet you something else. I'm going to bet Jeff Gordon's going to win this race. I don't know, though. That's 6 cars.
Now, if he beats Mark Martin, he's going to really have his work done. See a thing up there through all the radio guys. Okay. I have to sort that out.
No, he didn't beat 6 out.
No.
Oh, man. Look, man. Gosh, he showed his balloons there.
Crowd loved it. Ooh, that's what it was. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett on pit road.
Well, Mike, to update on what happened on the pit stops there among the leaders, Rusty Wallace's car was getting pretty tight. Green racetrack, tires biting too good. Car just wouldn't turn in the corner. They made an adjustment, took some wedge out. On the other hand, leader Mark Martin's crew still trying to tighten his car up, still a little bit loose. Jeff Gordon, on the other hand, who's running second right now, had just a 4-tire change. He's perfect. Now let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Mark Martin leads them down for the start. That's Derek Cope alongside, and Cale Yarborough Bojangles fourth. A lap down. Jeff Gordon is the second place car. He beat Rusty Wallace out of the pits by only inches. Ricky Rudd is in fourth. Morgan Shepherd is fifth. Kenny Schrader sixth. Ernie Irvin seventh. Jeff Bodine eighth. Dale Earnhardt ninth. Kyle Petty up to 10th ahead of Bill Elliott, Alan Kulwicki, and Terry Labonte.
Oh, look, here's Gordon went up there. Goodness gracious. Gordon was going around the outside, and looked like the Coke car slid up and about carried him in the wall.
Neil almost turned my chair over there. I couldn't believe that. He moved right up in front of Gordon there. I thought we had another caution going on.
You almost turned your chair over? Derek wasn't even close to you. Tense moment there. Gordon kept his foot in it. He's right back up on Rusty Wallace for second place here.
Because Gordon driving deep down in the corner on the outside. You can hold the throttle down a little bit longer on that outside line.
And Gant is away. He has lost, I believe, 2 laps. Rick Mast is back in the race after 39 minutes behind the wall. 53 laps behind the leader.
Gordon did a good job of holding Rusty off once he got under him when he had to go up high to avoid that car a while ago.
Now they have cleared the lapped cars. 2 of them separate those front 3 from fourth place Ricky Rudd. Again, the Hendrick cars, all 3 are in the top 5.
Well, I tell you, Jeff has moved right on by Rusty, and now he's up in the line where he wants to be. He seems to have a place up there. That car really works well.
Looking through Rusty's car, we see the 24 car. We see the leader right out in front of him, so he's not so far away that they can't reel him in. 24 car might have the ability to do that.
You know, Neil, we're looking at this guy running along here. I don't think the average person realizes this guy is a rookie in this division. He's up here contending for a win in Atlanta. I mean, he's doing things that's never been done before.
Yeah, but I think he's technically a rookie. I don't really consider it. I mean, the guy's raced so much and he's shown the ability to do this. You almost overlook that.
Well, at least he can have his own rental car to bring out the racetrack. Last year, he had to bum a ride out here. He couldn't get a rental car from the airport.
And couldn't drink the champagne in victory lane. Now he can. Alongside the leader, Derek Cope, Mike Waltrip, and Sterling Marlin. along with Jimmy Spencer. Martin gets away smartly.
It looks like the 24 car of Jeff Gordon just didn't get up to speed as quickly because Cope car was able to keep up on the get-go there, but 24 car now he's got to try that same maneuver to go around the 98 going down this morning. Had a problem doing it earlier.
Going the same way on the high side.
One thing about it, it's hard to block him because he uses it. Wow, is that high?
Here's Rusty. You're riding with Rusty Wallace.
Did you see how deep he got in that corner, Neil? Looked like he took that 6 car length on Rusty going in the corner. And I'm telling you, Jeff has really got this thing trailing.
Rusty's sitting there saying, which one of you guys are going to go? He's throwing his hand up. See, Rusty signaled the guy behind him that they're side by side in front of me are going to roll out of the throttle. He just won't let Morgan know that, hey, there's a lot of traffic right here. I'm kind of tiptoeing right now.
Morgan drops in right behind him. As they try to clear Sterling Marlin, the lap car number 8 on the inside.
And there we go, Rusty. You see him again. Telling him again. It needs to be a natural instinct. Every time you lift off the throttle, lift your hand.
Let me tell you, when you trust a guy like that on interstates, you have tail lights in cars. When people put on the brakes and stuff and they have to slow down, you see the tail lights come on. Well, that hand up there is the same thing. When you get where you trust a guy, then you'll run with him a long time and not worry about it.
It means a lot more here than it does on the interstate, though. I wish people put their hand up out of the interstate. You might have some idea which way they're going.
Now, Rusty's followed these guys for 2 laps, side by side. Just a minute ago, we saw him take a look down the back straightaway to put it 3 wide. If they keep this up, he'll stick that thing down in that 3rd lane and try to get on by him.
This is for 2nd place. Martin's checked out.
And did not make it worse than it was.
Here comes Jeff Gordon, and he doesn't quite beat Martin out of the pits.
That would have been for the lead after we get ready to restart, but he didn't quite do it.
Of course, they've got Kulwicki's car down there at the end of pit road as well. Very close to where his pit is, but I don't think he can get back to it. His crew is right there. Here are 2 of the 3 rookies in this race. In fact, here's all 3 of them. A lap down, Kenny Wallace and Bobby Labonte, and there's Jeff Gordon, who is up there in 2nd place right now.
We haven't been able to see that anybody keep up with a 6 car on the start. See if Gordon can get a better start here. We've got Kyle Petty leading, but he's on a little bit older tires, so 6 car in and 24 should be able to work on him pretty quick.
Green flag. Coming up on halfway here to the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Pretty quick right there,
I'd say. Wow. Turn 2.
Kyle, his guys want to lead a lap, get themselves up in attention in the front, and those fresh tires on the other leaders really show up.
Of course, now, if another caution comes out quickly, that strategy will pay off real well for him.
Let me tell you, you need new tires here. That really hurts you on old tires. You can see him just dropping back.
Irvin way up high. Can't clear Derek Cope.
Cope slid up again like he did a little bit earlier. Just almost caught a guy on the outside. His car must be pushing, getting in that corner.
Here's your Hardee's update. Where all the drivers were running during that caution period about 5 laps ago.
Now here's the 24 car. He's sitting up on the edge of that seat. This is the best restart he's had. This is his best effort to get after the leader. As Gordon, he's able to stay with him a lot better than anyone we've seen all day. Since they've got that, boy, it looked like the 6 car got a little loose up on the corner. If he can get close enough, the 24 can get close enough. We've already heard Mark say he'd pull over and let a guy go, to get off of him like that. He put enough heat on him, he might get to lead this race.
I don't think that line Jeff Gordon just took is in Professor Baker's school book for here at Atlanta.
It might be added in there, though. I tell you what, this kid's really giving that thing a ride. The carrot's out there now. Who wants it the most is who's going to win this deal.
Let's see.
There he is. Oh, the car got you pushing on him. He wiggled around. He wanted to lead that race. He drove it in so hard it took off on him.
And Rusty took advantage.
But he's not through yet. I'm not sure that he won't be able to come on back up there with him. See, Rusty did clear the 24 car.
Around here, you just say the kid. And everybody knows who you're talking about. Jeff Gordon.
Right to start calling the racer.
You bet. Let's go to Randy Pemberton. Call from Missouri. What happened to all the racing tires that were snowed on? Well, they're using them. You don't take the tires off your street car when it snows, George. You use them. That's what we're doing here. They're very much like your street car tires. They're just thinner than the rubber slide.
Well, we just showed an interval just a second ago, Mike, of the leaders. Here's another interval, buddy, like you were talking about before about this 21 car. The 21 is really closing in on the 24 right now, Jeff Gordon. So we've got the first and second place closed up, but also right now, this 24 is fixing to get a little bit of heat off the 21 car. Morgan's starting to reel him in.
Well, I tell you, we're going to race all the way back to fourth place now. It's really tight.
1.2 seconds. And as quick as Morgan's closing in, he should be up there dealing with the 24 of Jeff Gordon shortly.
There's a look at Gordon, the rookie driver, and Morgan Shepherd. Longtime veteran, used to run his own late model sportsman and then Busch Grand National cars. Jack Beebe gave him a strong shot in Winston Cup racing. He's had several.
You know, I'm not sure how strong Jeff Gordon is. He looked in the mirror and seen the 21 car coming. He's running Rusty down in a hurry here. He may have a little more car than we think he has.
Yeah, but still, look here. That was it. Just then we had 1.2 and boy, 0.9. I'll tell you what I think's happening, buddy. I think both of them are ready to rust in. I think they both started racing, and they're both gaining on the leaders now.
Well, they are 3 seconds behind race leader Mark Martin. And up at second place, Jeff Gordon is going for it.
Yep, Gordon is reeled him in. I think what happened a while ago, they put a little bit of heat on him. Morgan did. He picked the pace up, ran Rusty down, and not only ran him down, but he's driving right around him.
Remember what Darrell Waltrip said? He said Rusty's good for a while on fresh tires, but then fades.
Let me tell you, Jeff Gordon's good all the way through. He's running well. If anything, he's pulling down on Mark Martin now.
They are 3 seconds behind Martin, who's the race leader.
That's still Anderson now? See? He's pretty steady there.
There's Shepherd, top of the screen. He's part of this battle. Second, third, and fourth.
I think Morgan just kind of woke Jeff Gordon up a little bit. He got up there and started closing in, and all of a sudden Gordon picks the pace up, runs down to second place guy, takes over second. So maybe get up there and do something with Martin.
Rusty working the bottom now, but
boy, the 24 car should make such a strong run off the outside of the track.
I thought he almost was going outside the track.
If there's an award for traveling the greatest distance today, he should win that. Jeff Gordon should.
He may be the one car that actually goes 500 miles today. NASCAR measures the track right about where Jeff Gordon is, 15 feet from the outside wall all the way around. This track is 1.522 miles. He's using all of them. Here's Glenn Jarrett in Jeff Gordon's pit.
Well, Mike, this is Ray Evernham, Jeff Gordon's crew chief. And Ray, Jeff looks like after a long green flag run, the racetrack really comes to him.
Yeah, our car's set up on low fuel and old tires, and we hope that the race stays green, and our guys in the pits are doing a heck of a job keeping them in position. So there's a lot of people from DuPont here. We just want to get a good finish.
Well, you know, earlier on there was some talk about maybe holding Jeff back, letting him get a little experience, but he loves this place. So he's just giving him free reign today.
There's no such thing as holding Jeff Gordon back. He's pretty wide open all the time, but he drives with a lot of smart and a lot of experience. He's doing a real good job.
Mike Joint?
Glenn, we got a call from Virginia. Sammy in Virginia Beach wants Ray to tell us how much it costs to put that intricate paint job on that car.
All right, we got a call in on our 900 number, Ray. A fan wants to know, how much does it cost for that paint job on that race car?
I guess you'd have to ask the people from DuPont about that, but it takes one man in a spray booth about 8 hours to put it on. So I don't know what the cost is, but it takes a lot of man hours.
I bet he knows. He just doesn't want to tell us.
Folks, let me tell you, when you got a man who works on these cars for 8 hours, you're going to talk about a week's work at a body shop. These guys can get the job done. Every guy on these race teams are specialists of whatever they do, fabricators, welders, or whatever. And these guys that paint these things, they're masterpieces when they come to. It's a shame sometimes to bring them to the track and look as nice as they do, and some old mean driver rakes up down the side of them when you're not careful. They're not in a hurry to rake up down the side of this one. He's going pretty quick.
There are 5 different day-glow colors on that car. And now race leader Mark Martin will surrender the lead to Jeff Gordon as he comes down the pit lane. Jeff Gordon in front. And he will pit this time after leading a lap here. Morgan Shepherd goes past into the lead for the Wood brothers.
Now, we just saw Ray Evernham was talking to him about how good that pit crew has been doing. And I'm telling you, they've been matching Rusty Wallace stop for stop. And Rusty's team has been as good as anyone on the circuit this season. So this pit crew, if they can get him in and out, he'll be right back up there with them. Boy, let's put some pressure on these young guys.
Here's Glenn.
Well, Jeff Gordon brings the DuPont Chevrolet in with that fancy paint job. Again, we're not expecting the chassis adjustment here because, as Ray said, they set this car up to run when it's just about ready for a pit stop. Worn tires and low fuel. The right side tires are off. We're over to the left side now. Putting the left side tires on. A good pit stop for this young, relatively inexperienced crew. He's down and away. Boy, that's a good stop.
20.4 seconds for 4 tires and fuel under green. Strickland is in the pit lane. Ricky Rudd has just made his stop. The big pack of cars separating Rusty from third place Jeff Gordon now. There's Kyle Petty, Bobby Labonte, Wally Dallenbach, and then there's Jeff Gordon, the third place car.
A while ago, he stayed out about 3 laps longer than the other 2 leaders on those old tires, and they got a good bit of distance. We saw his pit stop was in with the other guys. He just lost some track position on those older tires.
Jeff Gordon had a tense moment a lap ago here.
I was watching as he went down the third, fourth turn, and the car just slid right up against the wall. He almost knocked the wall down. He got completely out of the black area he's in right there and was right up in the gray. Just here comes the Sitco car. Morgan Shepherd reeled him in now. Gordon had trouble that time. I'm telling you, just about knocked the wall down. I don't know if he's getting a little more cautious now. Morgan gaining on him.
What do you think, buddy?
Well, what it looked like to me is he's just trying so hard to catch Rusty Wallace that he's just gone wild. You know, he's doing everything he can to go up to the front. And when you're 21 years old, you do things that, you know, look a little weird, but he's doing his job.
But here comes Shepherd.
You better follow Shepherd, I think.
Yeah.
Now, Earnhardt and Elliott are racing for position, 9th and 10th.
Now watch how high the 24 car goes right here. Watch him go down low since I say that, but he's been going right up on the wall. Went in there a little slow. He probably followed Earnhardt and had to get out of the gas a little bit, getting in the corner.
Wow. You can get out of it there.
He's been running right up on the wall. Real Elliott dropping on back. He's had some troubles.
Look at this. Elliott's still in the top 10. Earnhardt now 9th. And you're watching the third and fourth place cars. They move past Dale Jarrett. Now, Jarrett, we reported earlier, he came back on the racetrack 38. He is now up to 34th position. Trying to get all the laps you can.
You watch Morgan Shepherd there. He's got his car dialed in pretty well, but he can't stay down all the way to the corner. He really gains going in, but he loses a little traction coming out of the corner.
Nancy from New York asked about Jeff Gordon's car. See that yellow tape on the bottom of the back bumper? That's the rookie stripe. You're required to wear that, and the question was for how long? All season long. So the experienced drivers know they're coming up on a rookie. I guess it looks a little different when the rookie passes them. When you see that yellow bumper go by.
Yeah, that yellow kind of really gets in your eye there. A little bit of a nuisance.
This race is 5.5 seconds behind race leader Mark Martin.
Boy, here these 2 guys come right in. Boy, Morgan slid right up in front of him. He was coming up on this traffic, and it was going to be a little bit of a problem, but Morgan cleared him, got right up in front of him.
Well, a lot of times the spotter on top of the grandstand up here will say, the 21 car is really handling well. Let him by and let's see what he's doing to gain on you like he's doing. And he might be going to school a little bit right now, too.
There's really no protocol here, is there, for where the lap cars go? They don't drop down to the bottom. They don't necessarily go up to the top, do they?
Mike, let me tell you what they tell you in drivers' meeting anytime. If you're caught on any part of the racetrack, don't move left or right. You hold your line and let the oncoming traffic pick the way, because he's already made up his mind if he's going left or right. The problem is created when the guy in front starts jumping around left or right. You just hold your position and let the fast cars go around.
Morgan Shepherd has opened up about a 10-car length advantage over Jeff. I don't know whether Jeff might have used his tires up by running as hard as he did right after the pit stop there.
The point leaders are having trouble today. Dale Jarrett came into this race with a point lead. Got caught up in a wreck. Mark Martin was third in the points, lost an engine. Here's the battle up front. And it's Morgan Shepherd up front, and here's Jeff Gordon going for second place on Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, Morgan got around him just a minute ago. And the 2 car is really falling back right now, and that's for second place.
Yeah, he fell back, I mean, like 20 car lengths in just a lap or two. There's something, I don't know what it is. Maybe the tires are giving up that bad, but he's dropping back fast. Rusty Wallace is
one of the few of the top 10 point men not to have trouble today. Alan Kulwicki 6th in the points, crashed. Davey Allison 8th in the points, 2 laps down. That's Strickland, tough day.
Well, one good thing about good camera work, you seen the good car off the corner then. It was really snake sideways, so the car is real loose, and it's not time for a pit stop. He's going to have to live with that condition.
That's when you earn your money when they're doing that. You got to keep running hard. That's it. Wrestling that race car.
Morgan Shepherd up front. This race is for second. Gordon and Wallace. Rudd is fourth. Irvin is fifth. Jeff Bodine is sixth. And Brett Bodine is seventh. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, after their hearts fluttered a little bit down near Rusty Wallace's pit, now they're all smiles. What happened? The car got extremely loose. Rusty wasn't sure whether somebody took the air off his floor or he hit something on the racetrack, but the car turned a little sideways with him, and it's been getting looser and looser, so he just decided to back out in a little while to make an adjustment. So no real problem. He's just taking it easy.
Thanks, Glenn. The one beneficiary of Mark Martin going to the garage was Brett Bodine. He had been lapped by Mark Martin, but he was between Mark and Morgan Shepherd, who is the new leader. So Brett Bodine is back on the lead lap in 7th place. Earnhardt is 8th. Kyle Petty is 9th. Elliott 10th. Marlin 11th. Mike Waltrip 12th. Spencer 13th. Derek Cope 14th. And Davey Allison 15th.
We see him coming down the straightaway. It looked like the 21 car. It looks like the 24 might be closed in a little bit on him,
Well, I guarantee you, Jeff Gordon understands the situation. When he seen the 6 car coasting, that left it up to these guys to battle it out. And I tell you what, I wouldn't want to pick a winner right now. I think we got 3 race winners. Whoever makes a good pit stop and adjustments the right way on the last stop, that's who's going to win.
And there's 4 other cars in the lead lap. They're going to be tough to count out. Rudd and Irvin have both run well, so they're pitted well up pit road from the leaders and the Bodine brothers. Both of them having a good day here. There's your leader, Morgan Shepherd. And there's the interval. 2nd place and then 3rd.
There's so many things in entering how a race is won at the end. We've seen Rusty Wallace every time there's a caution come out. He's the strongest guy for several laps. It just depends on when you get the cautions, if it's green flag stops, so many things enter into it.
Shepherd getting past a pack of traffic that now Jeff Gordon's going to have to deal with. Greg Sachs in the 9 car, the Mellon car.
Exactly 1 second back. We'll see what happens here. One thing about the traffic, it's not going to bother Jeff Gordon too bad because he's running that high line. There's not a lot of people up there in his way.
Shepherd running the bottom of the racetrack. There's 1st to 2nd.
The only thing that's in his way is that big old white slab of concrete up there. And he flirts with it quite a bit.
Rusty Wallace in 3rd. Have a look at the interval as they come by this time. Shepherd won here for Jack Beebe in a Buick in '86 and in Bud Moore's car in 1990.
Stretched it out a 10th right there. But I mean, from lap to lap, it's hard to say. You just get that perfect lap in. But looks like Morgan pulled him a little bit then.
The only thing I've noticed in heavy traffic, it seems that Jeff Gordon gets through traffic a little faster than Morgan does. But when they have the full racetrack to work with, it looks like Morgan's got him.
That last pack, Morgan caught him side by side, and Jeff had him single file. Let's get that interval again.
We'll see if we're just reading one lap and if it just fluctuates back and forth, if it's pretty consistent. Picked up at 3/10, so Morgan's definitely pulling out on him a little bit.
Jeff Gordon is on pit road, so is Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt.
This is going to be something interesting as this unfolds here. They're stopping early for tires. We saw in the past, if you stretch your tires a long way, they wear out and you lose some ground. We'll have to see what happens with this.
Well, we got to see what Morgan Shepherd does now. This could be a problem for him if he doesn't stop.
Let's go to Glenn.
Rusty Wallace has brought the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac in. They're going to do 4 tires. I have an idea they're going to make a chassis adjustment on the car. They haven't done so yet, though. Just 4 tire changes. They're going to try to tighten the car up and stagger it over those fresh tires. Will do the trick. He's down and away. There was no chassis adjustment. He does beat Jeff Gordon out of the pits.
18-second stop for Wallace. 20.9 seconds for Jeff Gordon. He's back up front.
Yeah, that's the battle for the lead now. 1st to 2nd place.
Now that Irvin is pitted.
Boy, look at Gordon. He's going to try that top. He'll get up there and make that 2 car. Have to give him that line. Gordon's been able to get on in the corner a little bit harder. Look at the distance he puts on going in that corner.
Got an update from the Wood brothers that Morgan Shepherd, after a look at the tire in the car, did not make contact with the wall. The tire just cut down there in the corner. He did not make contact with the wall, and Shepherd is now the third-place car. We'll be right back to Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Jeff, don't blow it, son. This is your shot.
Okay. .269 of 328 laps complete here in Atlanta. You see that Jeff Gordon, the race leader, has just lapped Brett Bodine, the 7th place car. Morgan is 11.4 seconds behind race leader Jeff Gordon. Gordon running Rookie of the Year. And that's a complicated championship. They count the best 15 finishes on the racetrack out of 30 races for each rookie. And then there are bonus points, subjective points awarded by a NASCAR panel based on how the drivers react with their other competitors, react with the media, and interact with them, and so forth. He is also, of course, running for Winston Cup points as well. There's the interval, first to second. Gordon back to Wallace.
You remember a long time ago we were talking about Jeff Gordon running such a high line. Now he's changed and went to the bottom. I think he knows this is his race to win or lose now, and he's got to be heads up all the way to the end now. I think that running way up high and all, that's risky business, but now he has the lead. I think he's going to protect himself a little bit.
We asked earlier how much it cost to make it. He wins this race, they won't mind.
No, sir. 55 laps to go. Our pit reporter's checking right now to see who can go the distance. He will have to stop one more time. We'll give you a Hardee's update, show you where your favorite driver's running here. Has just a couple of laps to go.
I can tell you, Jeff moved back up to the top side. He might have been trying to bottom the seat a little faster down there, and they can call him and say, whatever you're doing, you better go back to it. Because Rusty did pull down on him a little bit. You see Rusty on a low line there. He's run that way all day, and he seems to be closing in on Jeff right now.
What was your biggest thrill as a rookie, Bud?
Living through the first year.
Started to say surviving, so we're thinking the same.
Not really.
Oh, I'm really.
Neil?
I guess just the opportunity to get up there and race against the guys that you set at home on some weekends and listen on radio and watch on TV to finally be out there racing with them, look over on your right and on your left, and there they are. So I think just the excitement of being involved with this type of racing.
I got to remember to bring that slide in. It's one I shot at you at Richmond in, I think, 1975. Bobby Allison was hurt, and you came in unheralded to drive his car, and so many people asked questions that you taped over the name on a driver's suit, and it said Neil Who. Yeah, magic marker on duct tape.
Yeah, they kept saying, what's his name? Said Neil Bonner. He said, Neil Who? So we just lettered everything. Neil Who. It worked for a while.
Yeah, it did. Let's get an update on pit stop strategy. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, I checked with the two leading cars, Jeff Gordon's crew and Rusty Wallace's crew. Wallace's crew said they definitely had another stop. It would be sometime between now and lap 310. You can bet they'll stretch it as far as they can. Gordon's crew also said that they would have to stop again, and they said they were going to go as far as they could and make sure that the other guy stops first. So playing a little cat and mouse game, but they definitely both have to make one more stop.
Boy, oh boy, Neil, I tell you what, that's playing chess the hard way there. I guarantee you I wouldn't want to be the first one. First off, if the two-car stops, the 24 better come in right away because you lose so much time on old tires.
I tell you what, we're going to get one of our pit guys to go down to the 21 crew and find out did that flat tire break. If they were planning on going far enough, they would not have to stop. We're going to have to see did that tire make them come in early, or did they get to their point they wanted to go to.
Randy has an update on some of the other drivers that are on the lead lap and if they can go the distance. Randy? Ricky Rudd currently is the 4th place car behind Morgan Shepherd, ahead of Ernie Irvin. 49 laps to go. Jeff Gordon leads Rusty Wallace by that much. Just about a second. In case you're wondering, and a lot of you have asked, the highest a rookie has ever finished in the Winston Cup points, James Hilton in 1966 finished second. David Pearson. We'll say hi to James. He's trying to put together a sponsored effort. We'll run some more races this season.
That was in the Chariot, though.
Not 1966. Come on. Used to be Ned Jarrett's crew chief. Now a successful driving career. 280 laps complete. Rusty Wallace closing in a bit of race traffic here. Battle continues. We'll be right back. Trying to get off the hook with Hilton there. And
Neil
James has still got the same uniform. I started saying that.
Oh, you would have killed me.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. He run right in the back of him.
Oh, no.
Oh, Spencer saved it again. Can you believe it?
Gordon hit him.
Gordon run in the back of it.
He may have hurt his car.
Oh, tell me the tape machine was running.
Hey, Patty, what we need to see after this is over, a close-up of the nose of the 24 to see if it damaged it.
Yeah.
After you show the replay.
Golly dang.
He caught him. I don't know if I'd want to say that, but thank you. I want to, but I don't know if I ought to.
Well, he's okay. Thank God he didn't hurt his car.
Unbelievable.
I like to have a heart attack.
Yep.
After the replay, let's don't forget to take a tight close-up of the nose.
Yeah.
Well, that don't seem to hurt it. He's moving away again. I bet it.
Okay.
No, it's okay. Did he?
Welcome back to Atlanta, the Motorcraft 500. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Neil Bonnet. And the lead has closed right up, but it happened for cause. For 13 laps, Jeff Gordon had been trying to lap past Jimmy Spencer without success. They radioed into NASCAR. There you see the result. To say we need some help moving the 12 car over, NASCAR said, well, you got to catch him first before we can move him over for you to pass him. And here's what happened.
Here they go. They're going down in the first turn. You see the 24 car pulling up behind the 12 with the yellow paint job. Spencer got a little loose. Watch the 24. Hits him right in the rear. Spencer's right up on the wall. Gets straightened out. The 2 car doesn't get by, but as we saw in that prior shot, that damage to the nose, that's what's going to be so critical.
Oh, there's a lot of drag on the nose of the car. You notice this mass stem part right here. That air is trying to go up under the hood, and it's causing lift and everything else on that car.
Now, it looks easy in slow motion. Let's show you this again in real time.
Here they were going in the first turn. He drives up behind Spencer. Spencer gets loose.
Wow.
Really hits him a hard lick.
And Spencer saved it again.
Yep. But it didn't seem to hurt it that bad. But like Buddy said, that little area on the front, they work on these cars for like a 16th of an inch gap between the fenders, 16th of an inch gap between the hood. And that hood is raised up on the nose, and it's like a parachute. But it just doesn't seem to have hurt him that bad.
And remember, this is either the 3rd or 4th fastest track on the circuit after Daytona, Talladega, and perhaps Michigan.
You know, everything he does now, though, will help him later. But you notice that little lip there don't seem to be hurting the car, and that's very lucky in his part. He could have cracked the whole nose on the car, and then he'd have real problems.
Morgan Shepherd also picked up 2 seconds on the leader. He is now 9 seconds behind. He's the 3rd place car. See how just the little bit of sand and stuff that's not really sand up on the racetrack, but dust, debris, a little bit of tires and stuff, what it does to the front spoiler of that car. All that expensive paint has been literally sandblasted just to braid it off it.
And most of these guys paint with emerald, which is stuff that you just can't knock off of there. I mean, I might be saying a wrong brand with you, but it's a type of paint
that's DuPont.
It's like used on fighter airplanes and stuff. And it's hard to believe they will blast it off. They're just like sandblasting.
Let's go back to Glenn Jarrett for an update on the 3rd place car, Morgan Shepherd.
Also checked with Ray Evernham after that contact between Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Spencer. He said the car is A-OK. It did not cause any problems.
Well, I tell you, they dodged a bullet. When you smack somebody like that, you got hood pins up there. And when you smack into somebody, it can shear that hood pin, and then you definitely have a problem.
Pole sitter Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon running 1-2 here. Jeff ran the fall race here at Atlanta, his only start at this racetrack in a Winston Cup car, finished 31st. He won his first Busch Grand National race of his career at this speedway for Bill Davis. And he's trying to win his first Winston Cup race right here.
Well, I hope he don't give me a heart attack doing it.
You know, we were concerned, didn't damage it, but since he's had that little bit of contact, he's pulled out on Rusty just about the same distance he had before. car cools a little bit. There's so much duct work that's just made specifically. The engineers at the factories will tell you what angle to put that sheet metal in there for downforce plus cooling and everything. And when you start beating and banging on it, you lose a lot of effect for the cooling and everything.
The other thing you have to keep in back of your mind, Rusty Wallace has won on these type racetracks a lot. He's run a lot of 500-mile events. He'll know what to do to that car on the last stop to make it as good as it possibly can be. So it's going to be a really tight race all the way down.
Tell you something that might enter into it, buddy. You're talking about if they go to one last green flag stop, how many times all day long have we saw Rusty Wallace with that transmission deal, on the restarts? He's one of the strongest guys on restarts. We've seen the 24 have a little bit of problem starting off, and you lose a second or two on pit road, and it's big on that racetrack.
I'll tell you.
First and second place there. The oldest driver in today's field, Dave Marcus, age 52. Dick Trickle is 51. Gordon is by far the youngest. He was 21 years old August 4th. The next youngest driver in the field, next two youngest, are Bobby Hillin and Bobby Labonte. They are both 28, 7 years older than the man who's leading this race.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They say years and years of experience make you better. If he hangs around for a while, he's going to be tough.
Now he's stretching out the lead a little bit now.
The most prolific rookie to come on this circuit, I believe, since Tim Richmond.
No doubt about that.
The youngest driver to win a NASCAR Grand National and Winston Cup race. Greg had to reach way deep in the book for this one. Herb Thomas's brother, Donald Thomas, won at Atlanta in 1952 at the old 1-mile Lakewood Speedway at age 20. Fireball Roberts won at Hillsborough, North Carolina in 1950 at age 21.
I remember Donald, too.
Greg, I want to know what kind of car that was while you're digging over there.
I think it was a Hupmobile or a Stunt, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. The first of the fastbacks.
It was. Hudson won in an Oldsmobile, and Fireball won his first race in an Oldsmobile, and Thomas in a Hudson Hornet. 32 laps to go. We'll be right back.
Would Jimmy Spencer have been the hero of the day had they put Jeff Gordon out?
Don't even ask. Don't even ask.
The young women of America would have killed him.
The older ones, too. Here's the situation. Jeff Gordon leads this race with 28 laps to go. He and Rusty Wallace, the second place car, Morgan Shepherd in third, and Ricky Rudd in fourth, all have to pit, and those stops have started. Wallace is the first to come onto pit road under green.
This might be a big strategy. He could not beat Gordon on those tires. I'm going to want to see if he's going to put some tires on this thing or just fuel. He might know he has to do something drastic like put tires on to beat him.
That pretty well forces the hand of the 24 car. He is down and away, 2 tires and gasoline on.
12.8 seconds. You can bet that Jeff Gordon's team will have the watch on Rusty Wallace, and if he is lapping faster than their driver, then won't they almost have to bring the leader in?
Yeah, they've got to. We've seen in the past here, every time there's been a stop and the guy with fresh tires just drove away, they might make the 24 guys have to make a call real quick.
Jeff Gordon, the leader, 26 laps. Now, I told you that Wallace, Shepherd, and Rudd will have to pit, but Randy Pemberton, what about Ernie Irvin, the fifth place car?
Well, these guys have been pacing back and forth here, Tony Glover and the crew. They're going to go all the way, Mike. They've got nothing to lose. Now, Rusty may have just...
If I was the people in 24 pits right now, I'd be thinking real hard on bringing him in right now because they have the fastest car. They need to get in, get tires, and have the fighting advantage against Rusty. Rusty's making up a lot of time right now.
It's not showing because of the differential in the racetrack. When it's going to show is when the 24 has to come in, unless he's just so strong he can race with him on these old tires.
Rusty Wallace is lapping at 32.05. Jeff Gordon's last lap, 32.57, half a second difference.
Wow, that's a bunch.
See it, boy, these guys right here biting their fingernails and scratching their head. It's time. Somebody's going to have to make the call, and they might be able to do it this way and keep running and pull it off, but looks like they're needing tires.
There's Jeff Gordon. Looking now for Morgan Shepherd. There's the Wood Brothers car, the Citgo Ford.
We just saw the 2 car go by, but he's actually, with that stop, he's down there. He's a lap down.
That's right.
So what we got, this won't shake out until the 24 stops with him.
Let's get that interval again this time. This will be from Gordon back to Morgan Shepherd.
Yeah, even though the 2 is in between them,
right,
he's a lap down.
Here's your leader, Gordon across the stripe. Wallace, because of that stop, is a lap down. We'll let him go by, and here is Morgan Shepherd. 8.4.
He's been really closing. I don't know if there's enough time on track to do it, but he's been eating him up.
Last lap, Rusty Wallace, 32.4. Jeff Gordon, 32.77. 3,500s. Oh, boy. Got a lot of lead, but if he does have to stop for gas, the longer he waits, the more of that lead Rusty Wallace will eat up when Jeff Gordon comes back on the racetrack. Ray Evernham, his crew chief, has won a lot of races in a modified, and he worked for a long time as the shop foreman and crew chief for Jay Signori in the International Race of Champions, so he knows a thing or two about race strategy, and he has really been a calming influence in this young driver's career in both the Busch Grand National car for Bill Davis and in the Winston Cup car. Calculated risk.
20 laps to go. I guarantee you one thing. It's nice to be up here and not have to make these decisions. I'm going to tell you.
I tell you, I can't help but think with a 10 to go or something, if they're going to need fuel, they're going to have to get him in with 10 to go, where if they are behind, he's sitting on fresh tires, and he's got 10 laps to make it up. They might be able to make a gut call and go with fuel only if they don't give up so much time. It's just going to be a big gamble right here. If they can read their distance, and maybe this fuel only will win this thing for us. There's going to be a lot of planning going on.
Well, if Mark Martin were still out there, he would likely have lapped the field by now, but Martin went to the garage with engine failure at lap 225 after being the dominant car for much of the day. Bob Schacht in the garage, Phil Parsons, Joe Ruttman crashed, Dick Trickle involved in the accident, that was Phil Whitney, Darrell Waltrip, engine trouble, Dave Martin was out, and Mark Martin. Closing distance. Let's go to Jeff Gordon's pit. Here's Glenn.
Well, Neil Bonnet, you are exactly right in guessing that they might go with fuel only. I went over to the gas can, got Ray Everham's attention, pointed to it, and I said, fuel only. He shook his head almost imperceptibly, but he did shake his head yes. Right now, they are planning to put fuel only in the car. They would not say when, but I would say it would be within the next 5 laps.
Last 3 laps on Rusty Wallace, 31.41, 31.43, 43. Jeff Gordon also very steady, but he is consistently 35 of a second, a third of a second slower each lap than Rusty Wallace. Dale Earnhardt pitting the Richard Childress Goodwrench Chevrolet in 10th place. An uncharacteristic 2 laps back.
Neil, they don't even work on the chassis anymore. They know they've had it beat in today. They're just trying to finish it out and get a good finishing spot.
Trying to survive, I guess, now.
Jeff Gordon has lapped 5th place Jeff Bodine. So only Gordon, Morgan Shepherd, Ricky Rudd, and Ernie Irvin are on the lead lap. But remember, when those 4 drivers pit, if they pit, that will bring Bodine and Rusty Wallace, who was already pitted, back up onto the lead lap. They got that hatchet you saw up above Jeff Gordon's pit to help him find his pit. They may have to just change that to a $. The hatchet may no longer be appropriate.
Well, the $sign's been up since they hired that young man.
I think so. 15 laps to go.
Boy, they're talking about they're going to make the fuel point. You just can't run it out. I mean, you got to stop. You got to make up a decision inside. I guess they're going to go with fuel only.
I've been in this spot when I was a young driver, and I'm going to tell you something. That guy right there, you hear about money and this and that. You know what he's interested in? Winning that race. Money means nothing right now. This guy's running, and he's so happy. I tell you, he's excitement to be around. I really have a good time just interviewing him in the pits and stuff. He's an exciting young man, I tell you what.
Goes into a race city, and his favorite pastime has been going to the mall to play video games. Ricky Rudd is in. 4th place car.
You think he's playing the biggest game of his life today? I'm telling you, getting it done.
It's on video, live on TNN.
Yeah, he'll look at it a few times tonight.
I think so.
Say, boy, was that me.
This is Jeff Gordon's 5th career Winston Cup start.
Now, Neil, how much gas will he need to take on? 3 gallons?
We're fixing to find out. He's coming down pit road right now.
And that, I think, Buddy, is the key to Ray Evernham's strategy. The longer he leaves his driver out there, the less gas they have to take, the less time they have to spend in pit lane.
Mike, what we're going to do here, we're going to keep up with Rusty Wallace. Okay, we're watching a 24. Here's Rusty. He's going through the second turn right now. We're going to see if we can keep up where Rusty's at in the 24. If he can beat him out. Rusty's halfway down the back straightaway right now. Halfway on the back straightaway.
He's over the line.
No, man, no.
He's over the line.
No. Tell me that didn't happen.
Coasted in just a little too far, and it became a 9.5-second pit stop. Brett Bodine, Michael Waltrip also stopped. Here comes Wallace. Gordon struggling to get back up to speed in turn 2. Wallace is closing. 12 laps to go. When they get to turn 3, will Gordon have the speed to sustain his lead? Wallace flying.
The problem with the tires, he's not going to have the same kind of tires on, even though he's got the lead. He's going to maintain the lead, but can the 2-car running down with those tires?
And how much gas did they actually get in the car? That's the other thing. Boy, we've got a cliffhanger here.
Morgan Shepherd takes over the lead. Gordon gets back out ahead of Rusty Wallace, but coasting over the line in his pit had to hurt.
It's pretty evident that was the proper call to make.
Yes.
Because even with the problem, look at the big lead he's got with just 11 laps to go. If they hadn't had that problem, it'd been a sin, but now they have to race.
They are the 4th and 5th place cars. This man leads.
Golly, I wanted Jeff to win.
Jeff Gordon gave everybody something to think about.
Jeff, a fantastic run for you. Disappointed a little bit or happy with where you finished?
Well, there's no way we can be disappointed with a 4th. We found ourselves leading the race and an opportunity to win, and I'm a little bit disappointed myself. We ran good all day long. Guys did a great job in the pits, and I came in for a stop and go there at the end. It was unfortunate we had to make a stop and go, and I slid past the pits. We had to slide the car back, got back out there. Then I hit the wall, so it was just one of those days where really everything went great, and then, you know, when the pressure got on there at the end, I guess I choked. But other than that, you know, just unbelievable day for us.
One other incident that you had up there in turns 3 and 4 with Jimmy Spencer trying to lap him.
Well, you know, I mean, Jimmy was racing the leader just like he should if he's a lap down or possibly going a lap down. And he was holding his own. He wasn't really holding me up. I was just running my own pace. But what happened was he moved up into my line, and the air from my car got him loose, and then I hit him. And, you know, it could have been a bad situation, and that's why you don't really like to run around lap cars, but you know, I could find myself in the same situation.
Explain to us about the line you were running out there. Did you want to go there, or was that where the car had to go?
Yeah, the car wanted to go there. When we got new tires, the car was pretty loose, and I would run right around the bottom, and the car felt great. As the tires went away, my line kept moving up and up, and really I had a good pace going, and I could really get comfortable with the car in that high line. They would beat me through the middle of the corner, but I'd kill them from the middle off. So, you know, it was an interesting day. We learned a lot, and I'm really happy with the 4th.
Okay, nice job. You moved from 10th to 5th in the points.
And it's his best career Winston Cup finish. Jeff Gordon, who almost won it all here today at Atlanta.